tuning into BrandPlus TV. It's always a delight knowing that you've taken your time and are keeping us company. My name is Ndiro Ganga, ready to bring you up to speed with all the top stories making headlines. And as you know, we're all about business. Here's a glance of those stories.
Content and the likes that will help enrich how you engage with these games.
Future of media in Africa. What does the future hold for the estate?
How do you explore and how do you engage?
Cloud and Data Center Roadshow Nairobi 2018. Cloud and Data Center a mainstay as the future digitizes. Second African Annual Conference on Social Entrepreneurship. Social entrepreneurship stakeholders meet to take stock.
Connected Kenya 2018.
Connected ICT Innovation Awards 2018 launched. Promise abound as annual awards launched.
2018 is...
Thank you for staying with us. Now on to our top story. Media is a powerful force which, when well utilized, is able to effectively fulfill the role of watchdog, gatekeeper, agenda setter, and much more. Television, radio, and print form the backbone of the media, but enter the internet and with it digital media, and the terrific three are finding themselves in unfamiliar territory. The future of the media is not as clear-cut as it may seem, and our reporter Karari John attended a business lunch held by Meltwater, a media monitoring company, and filed the following report. Take a look.
Because they still want to work with
Compared to its neighbors in the region, Kenya has one of the best working environments for the media, creating a ripe environment for investors in this industry. It is no wonder Africa Meltwater chose Kenya as its region hub, opening an office in Nairobi. While celebrating the launch through a business lunch, the managing director, Africa Meltwater, Matt Buckley, indicated that Kenya is a strategic market.
All right, so as many of you may know, we've been traveling to the city with increased frequency over the last couple of months, seeing as though we're looking at opening up an office space in Nairobi to service our local clients. We have just over 700 clients in the African continent at the moment, and we look at Kenya as a very strategic market for us to open up the gateway to the EAC.
The founder and CEO of Mums Village, who has been named a young global leader by the World Economic Forum and one of the Africa's most powerful women by Forbes, Isis Nyong'o Madison, while addressing how critical content is, pointed out the momentum role data plays in content creation.
That's why I'm so excited about Meltwater being here, is that data is everything, and right, really understanding how can you use data to make some of those key decisions about what to create. It's not just about I'm going to create content and find the optimal distribution, but am I actually creating the content anybody wants to see or engage with? And how you use data to do that will be very exciting as we look forward.
According to a report by PricewaterhouseCoopers on Media Outlook 2017-2021, the revenue on Kenya's entertainment and media sector is estimated to grow by 8.5% over the next years to hit 329 billion shillings. With that, ISIS went ahead to say that there is so much potential in digital space in Africa.
Where digital stands in Africa, because again, this has been a massive transformation over the last 10 years. We're talking about over 400 million users across the continent.
on digital, this for ads and influencers.
The COO of Socialite Media, a Kenyan company that develops robust digital-led strategic and technical communication solution, Brian Munge, bluntly pointed out how digital media has given the traditional media a run for its money.
I highly doubt people want to go home before 9 so they can watch news. We stopped doing that, right? You're either in traffic, or you're in the office, or you are at the local meeting place and meeting. And nowadays they never switch to put news I don't think anyone wants to, when they're in a second drink and then someone says, okay, we're going to put news for like 10 minutes. No one does that anymore. So this is how we consume news. And it's important to note that. So it's called platform-driven consumption. It's increasing, and unfortunately, the younger generation are more inclined to believe the news they see online than the older generation.
The shift to digital media is evident not only in Kenya but also across Africa. Brian was, however, quick to point out that we can't write off traditional media just yet.
I guess same answer as the conversation around radio. You can't do away TV. We are killing it slowly. It's a very slow death, but you can't do away with it. You still have to invest.
As the media continues to evolve, the perfect balance between the old and the new must be found. However, what all stakeholders must be alive to is the fact that the audience remains as king. Here at BrandPlus TV, we promise to continually pursue the right serving of both traditional TV and digital media just for you. Reporting for BrandPlus TV, I am Karari John Wambugu.
You can see how their graph looks.
The International Data Center today held the Cloud and Data Roadshow Nairobi 2018 at the Radisson Blu Hotel in Nairobi, Upper Hill area. With the theme of the conference being the hybrid computing future of IT, the roadshow saw various stakeholders call on both the government and the private sector to explore the economic possibilities that the cloud and data continue to present. We live in the information age, and with it comes data, lots and lots of data. It is for this reason that data storage and preservation is beginning to take center stage in IT conversations. With Kenya leading the pack of digitization on the continent, the country must now examine its data management systems. To this regard, Charles Lewis, Chief Security Officer, NSI Technology Africa, said data centers will come in handy by acting as the engine powering digital transformation in the business world.
Cloud service providers like Zoho provide platforms like Zoho One, which allow customers and businesses to focus on what they really want to achieve rather than worrying about the underlying infrastructure. For example, Zoho Social is a platform that allows you to manage all your social media accounts and then manage your engagement with customers and manage the sentiment from those customers. So rather than worrying about building technology, you can focus on building brand health. And that's really what digital transformation is all about. It's about enabling the communication with your customers.
While organizations are leveraging on digital growth to drive future growth and innovation, their data handling must also evolve to keep up with the unfolding technological world. Accordingly, Carl Martins, Azure Solutions Specialist East Africa Microsoft, said data centers and cloud platforms need to evolve and transform to keep pace with the demands of the new digital era.
When we talk about data center transformation at Microsoft, there are three pillars you can think about. One is integrate, and I think that's probably the easiest step to take as a company. So how can I integrate my existing data center with the public cloud? So think about scenarios like disaster recovery, putting your development and test environments on cloud, being able to monitor across public cloud and your on-premises. That's the integrate scenario. The second scenario is migrate. So when we're talking about migrate, it's really like taking your existing applications without changing too much to the applications and moving them to cloud. So the big benefit there, again, is mostly on the cost side. You have some scalability advantages and so on, but it's mostly on the cost side. But then the most interesting pillar is the modernize. That's where you're going to bring the value for your companies, there, where you can innovate, where you can deliver your applications faster to market. Think about technologies like microservices, containerization, serverless compute. That's really where the disruption for the companies will happen, and that's where you're going to reap the most benefits. It's in the modernize.
Cloud and data centers across the world continue to present businesses with vast opportunities to tap into and make profit. However, Seshant Sengar, Executive Cloud Solutions Manager, DC and Clouds Department, Huawei, says the question businesses need to answer is, what is the checklist for transforming a business with data centers and cloud?
Building that skills for the students. That's Huawei is concentrating on that. We have tie-ups with multiple universities in Kenya. What we are trying to achieve is like develop skill set at much earlier stage, which are needed for the business, so that when you're recruiting fresh, business don't have to invest in skilling up those resources. They are readily available to be used in their infrastructure. So that's another space where Huawei is biggest contributor. And one more thing is that because Huawei adopts open source architecture, so it's easier to integrate multi-vendor solutions. So we avoid vendor lock-in, which is very important as you grow. So if you get locked into a vendor, then going forward it is difficult. Like you might be shelling out more money for lesser value. So as soon as you break out of that vendor lock-in, you can exploit your infrastructure better. You can get better value.
Integration, migration.
While there is goodwill from the government in supporting digital transformation in the country through various initiatives such as the setting up of the AI and blockchain task force, the industry is still not short of challenges that hinder progression into the future. Catherine Muraga, Director Information Technology and Operations, CDN Bank, pointed out that one such stumbling block is the lack of data protection laws.
I'll give two main challenges. Cost. There's a perception that moving to cloud is cheap. But it might be cheap in terms of if you're going an operating model, but it can hurt a business in terms of cash flow. It's not always cheap. And then secondly, look at aspect to do with data security. Where is this data hosted? Who has access to it? Fine, the cloud could be hosted locally, but the processing is being done outside Kenyan jurisdiction. Is there any coverage, or from a security perspective, during the processing? What if the data is tampered with? Do you have visibility on that? I think those are some of the main challenges.
Even as various stakeholders work towards fast-tracking Kenya's entry into a developed nation, the importance of data cannot be downplayed, and as such, its proper management and through data centers and cloud computing must be prioritized.
Software that you want to use, as long as you want.
The second African Annual Conference on Social Entrepreneurship was officially launched today at the Tangaza University College with the aim of contextualizing and shaping social entrepreneurship in Africa. The forum will cover sub-themes such as innovation training for social entrepreneurs, talent identification, incubation and scale-ups for the social enterprises, measuring and reporting social impact, among many others. Our reporter Daisy Wambua graced the conference and compiled the following report.
The two-day event, which brings together stakeholders in the social entrepreneurship space, hopes to impart social entrepreneurs with the skills that will enable them develop, fund and implement solutions to social, cultural or environmental issues in the society. Speaking while officially opening the ceremony, Susie Kitchens, the Deputy High Commissioner and the Permanent Representative to the United Nations Environment Programme, said that the governments had a role in enabling social enterprises to thrive.
Governments have a significant role to play in enabling social enterprise. Governments are responsible for company law. In the UK, we have amended our laws so that businesses must demonstrate diligence to social and environmental responsibilities. This came out through evidence and advocacy from the UK's Social Enterprise Organisation, a partner and a friend to SESOC. Governments can also use the tax revenue system to incentivise social enterprise. They can reward businesses that protect the environment and present incentives to businesses to offer services to marginalised markets. And governments can encourage education in the public school curriculum about social enterprise.
The Director of Operations and Administration and the conference chair, Dr. Stephen Gashie, also pointed out the importance of such forums as they highlight the position of the social enterprises in the country and in Africa.
The purpose for the conference is to, of course, like the theme, which is contextualizing social and shaping social entrepreneurship in Africa, is actually to highlight the position of social enterprises in Africa. And most importantly, if you look at other jurisdictions, we may have mentioned during our address, the UK, the US, it's almost becoming the third sector. The first sector being the public, the private sector. Now they're looking at social entrepreneurship as the third sector.
He added that the conference was meant to measure the impact of the social entrepreneurship in the country.
And of course, we have sub-themes that also feeds to the purpose. And importantly, one of them is how do we then measure and report impacts of social entrepreneurship in Africa.
On his part, the designated Vice-Chancellor, Professor Stephen Mbugwa, stated that the conference is going to provide a platform to support and continue promoting social entrepreneurship by creating a networking forum for the participants.
This conference will provide a platform to promote and support social entrepreneurship by connecting, sharing, partnering, and learning from one another. If we cannot network, if we cannot learn from one another, we cannot grow, because such gives us the network and also the proper feedback for our own particular enterprises.
He continued to urge the policymakers involved in matters education to see what is taught in schools can be translated into deliverables for the benefit of the society.
It is therefore my urgent appeal that education should be translated into deliverables for the good of society. It is about time that learners change from stating about what they want to be in white-collar careers to what they want to invent. And that is why the social entrepreneurship is about. What do you want to create? What do you want to invent so that it may be useful, rather than what do you want to get there?
The conference is hoping to come up with initiatives that will shape social entrepreneurship not only in Kenya but also in Africa, given its impact. For BrandPlus TV Business News, I am Daisy Wambua.
Information Communication Technology Cabinet Secretary Joe Musheru today officially launched the 2018 Connected ICT Innovation Awards. The awards will see young Kenyan innovators featured during the Connected Kenya Summit that will be held next month at the Bomas of Kenya.
Connected Kenya 2018, a conference in the Kingdom of ICT.
The awards, which will take place from the 22nd to the 24th of October, are set to celebrate Kenyan entrepreneurs that have created innovative ICT solutions. The Cabinet Secretary ICT Joe Musheru, speaking at the event, said the government is open to receiving, evaluating and where necessary adopting innovative ICT projects that are aligned to the Big Four agenda.
So we have an initiative called the White Box. The White Box is also an initiative where if you have any innovation, you can bring that to government. Think of the White Box as our reception for you as innovators, as businesses, where you bring that innovation or product or idea to us. We will evaluate it. Our ICT officers from all the different state departments will look at that. If it's an agriculture suggestion, then the ICT officers from agriculture will actually look at that and be able to give feedback, and we see if we can actually grow that and make the government even more efficient. We're trying to find ways of how we can connect even more with you.
With young people constantly left out of the tendering process due to corruption and inadequate resources, CS Musheru reaffirmed that his ministry is working towards streamlining the tendering process moving forward to ensure transparency.
We've consolidated all the ICT procurement within government to our ministry. That does not mean that we are the ones who decide for everybody. Actually, we collaborate and work together, so that we are able to have the economies of scale to be able to grow things that work without having to pay too much. I don't know how many of you have been to tenders.go.ke. I put it on Twitter yesterday for some people to test, and I put a poll there just to see what people think. 68% of the people are very happy with what we have put in, and I think something like 17% are indifferent. Maybe they don't tender. But if you look at that, it will tell you that the president's key is to make sure that the government is open, that how we spend taxpayers' money is very transparent and open to everybody. So since July, when he gave the executive order, you'll be able to go and see all the tenders that have actually been tendered, who bid for those tenders, who won the tender, who are the directors of that company, what the amounts were. All that is open to you to see. Who are the committee that evaluated, and so on. So as taxes are collected, you will be able to monitor on real time how this money is actually being spent.
While the awards are a positive indication that the ICT industry is moving in the right direction, lack of proper legal framework within which to operate continues to stunt its growth. To this end, Marakwet West Member of Parliament William Kisang said that this will soon change as the legislature intends to pass ICT bills already tabled in Parliament.
There are 2 or 3 laws. One of them is a computer practitioners bill. Secondly, there is a data protection bill. The CS has already put an advert in the papers. We would want you to engage with the ministry. When it comes to National Assembly, we also engage. There is critical infrastructure bill that will also come. That's our job. We will look at it and we will ensure at least we pass it in the shortest time possible.
Okay, thanks a lot. That's our title sponsor for Connected 2018.
Since the inception of the awards in 2011, over 45 ICT products and services have been awarded, and we hope that more innovators will take up the opportunity to further develop ICT solutions to the myriad of challenges that continue to face the country.
Coming to you on October 22nd at the Bomas of Kenya.
Now let's shift gears and take a look at the day's market performances, and here is a summary. That is how the markets performed today, but for more in-depth analysis, tune in to my next big bet tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. with Rachel Deruto and Karanja Daniel as they carry out an in-depth analysis of the financial markets and other investment opportunities available for you. Well, that's all the time we had tonight on the Business News Desk. On behalf of everyone that made it a success, thank you for watching. It's good night from us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.